Our project was the analysis of American busboy and line cook work duties. Our study aimed to identify non-value-added work and improper postures, which are a main source of WMSDs, due to localized fatigue in order to discover the optimal movements and postures that each subject should have to improve overall task time and reduce fatigue. To do this, we analyzed line cook and busboy task videos through MODAPS analysis. In addition, postures were recreated in 3D SSPP in order to find less stressful postures that would result in fewer injuries. In our study, we decided to focus on the tasks of line cooks and busboys, which are easily broken down into subtasks and currently contain a high degree of bending and leaning. The line cook's workspace consisted of two areas: a preparation area containing a cooktop with all the ingredients needed to make a ravioli dish, and an assembly table with dish toppings and the final dish that will be served to the customers. The busboy's workspace centered around the after-meal cleanup. The customer's table was first cleared of dishes and cleaned, and then dishes were walked to a table in the kitchen. In the current workstation layout for the line cook, all ingredients are placed to the right-hand side of the body, with a few ingredients farther than the maximum standing reach distance. The subject needed to lean in order to reach the furthest ingredients. During final preparation of the dish, the subject was almost fully bent over in order to place individual items on the dish perfectly. For the busboy, the current workstation setup consists of placing a bin to put dishes in on one side of the table and retrieving additional bins as necessary. Leaning over the table was required for almost all parts of the task. New bins had to be retrieved by walking back to the kitchen and then returning to the table. After visually analyzing each task, a MODAPS time study was performed. The line cook's dish preparation took a much longer time than the busboy's. However, it involved leaning to reach objects less often. For both tasks, most movements involve simultaneous use of both hands, with a few tasks performed repeatedly, such as moving a pan back and forth or wiping down a table. From our MODAPS analysis, we found that the line cook and busboy tasks took approximately 200 seconds and 70 seconds to complete, respectively. The line cook's workstation was especially limiting by placing all ingredients to the right of the body. Some had to be placed farther away, requiring leaning. The busboy also needed to lean for most elements of their task. However, this was due to only standing on one side of the table. Extra walking was also required because once one bin was filled with dishes, another bin had to be retrieved from the kitchen. Postures for each subject were then evaluated in 3D SSPP. For the line cook, final assembly placed a lot of stress on the ankles and knees of the subject, particularly for taller workers that needed to lean further in order to remain close to the dish. The busboy's movements placed most stress on the torso, hip, and ankle, primarily from reaching across the table and to the side of the subject's body. Here's an example report from 3D SSPP showing the summary analysis for a 95th percentile male busboy. This shows that the areas of the body most affected, other than the back, are torso, hip, and ankle. We derived a few suggestions to improve the job with respect to the time and likelihood of acquiring work-related injuries. For the line cook, we recommended that the ingredients used in the dish be distributed evenly around the subject in the order they are used to reduce movements needed to grab further ingredients. Additionally, an adjustable assembly table would be useful to accommodate workers of various heights to reduce leaning during high conscious control activities. For the busboy, we suggest that the worker gather all of the necessary materials prior to walking to the table to reduce the need to walk to different locations during one cycle of the job, thus reducing total time. Additionally, we suggest the busboy organize all of the materials on the table before removal to reduce the repetitive motions involved, and finally, move the bin to the other side of the table when needed to prevent improper postures to reduce fatigue.